Hey guys, it's Tamara Bennett from Adoornments Decor. I'm excited to be back with you guys again today to paint. We're going to be painting a fall design that I've noticed we've sold a lot of in the shop lately. So this design is called Fall Grateful. And I just realized I think I messed something up on my laser because that line is not supposed to be there. So when I cut this, and it's also got a lot of sawdust on it. When I cut this on my laser, I had to split the design sort of in half in order to cut a piece this big on my smaller laser. And I must have accidentally created a line, but it's not going to matter. Paint's going to cover it. I just noticed it when I was holding it up looking at it. So if you want to get a laser cut blank without the line through it, in our shop, you can grab this one. It's called Fall Grateful. It comes in 4 sizes, 6, 8, 12, and 20 inch. This one is probably closer to an 18 inch. That was the biggest piece of wood that I had to cut on my smaller laser today. And so that's what I cut out. This is going to have like 3 different colors of leaves and then a big turquoise pumpkin. It's going to be really cute. So I hope you guys will decide to paint this one along with me. If you want to cut your own, you can also get the printable template for this one in our shop at shopdoorhangers.com. and paint with it. This is one of the older designs. It's been in there for a couple of years, but like I said, I've been doing a lot of shipping lately, and I noticed we had sold several of these, and I thought it would be a fun one to paint live with you guys. All right, I'm gonna have to grab my laptop real quick because I forgot. I usually print out a picture of the design that I'm gonna paint. I forgot what some of the colors on this one look like, so let me pull up that picture real quick, and I'll just have it open on my laptop for reference. Because I usually like to go by the photo. Here we go. So here is the image of the pumpkin that we're going to be painting. So I'm just going to leave that open on my laptop over here so that I've got something to kind of reference because I forgot that the pumpkin also has polka dots on it. Hi Cheryl. Hi Latoya. How are you guys? Hey Brenda. Hi Hannah. All my PC sisters are here. Let's get started. So this bottom leaf is going to be yellow. Then we've got an orange leaf and sort of a cream colored leaf. And then the pumpkin, like I said, is going to be a beautiful turquoise color. Now, you could change this up and do whatever colors you want to do. Hi, Debbie. I hope you guys will decide to join me for the fall workshop that we're going to be doing. We're going to be painting this design that's hanging up behind me. I know you can't see the whole thing from up there, but this is the Pumpkin Trio Workshop design. It's only $10 to sign up. I've put the link up in the video description for y'all. We only do these workshops about 2 times a year. And it's a lot of fun. It's a good chance for you to sort of, if you've been watching me for, you know, quite a while and you're like, I think I might be able to do this. Like, she makes it look so easy. And the reason I know you're thinking of that is because I hear a lot of people say that. They're like, you make this look so easy. Well, you know what? It doesn't have to be hard. Anybody can paint like this. And so if you've been thinking, maybe I can do that, I want you to go sign up for this workshop, because in this workshop, we're going to teach you several techniques that will make it so much easier for you to just pick up a brush and paint next time. So you're going to gain a lot of confidence through painting live with me. We're going to do it in a private Facebook group over 4 days. It starts on Monday, August 15th, which is next week, and it goes through Thursday night, the 18th. And so each night we're going to break it down and do a different part of it and kind of take you on a journey with it. So over 4 days, we'll teach you how to do it. And we break it down like that because it makes it a little bit more doable for those people who are a little intimidated. Hey, Bonnie, glad you're here. Hi, Jacqueline. Hey, Denise. And so it's a little less intimidating if you know that, like, night 1, all you got to do is paint the background, right? And we kind of do it in baby steps. And if you're not able to join us live for whatever reason, you do have access to the videos for up to at least an entire year. So you'll be able to go back and watch these at any time and paint along with it and do one of these. My hope is that a lot of you guys will become hooked on this and will want to join our Painters Clubhouse membership. I've had the membership for 4.5 years now, and we have a wonderful community of women in there who have become bitten with the door hanger bug, and they love painting and crafting. A lot of them have gone on to start their own businesses or sell their items at craft fairs. And some people are still just giving things away as gifts and just painting because it's therapeutic. So if that's you, that's okay too. You don't have to sell these in order to have fun with it. Hi, Melinda. Missy says, I really want to paint this.
How do you get the cutout of this?
Okay, so this one is the Fall Grateful cutout. I've got the link up above for you. You can get the cutout or the template. It's a pumpkin with 3 leaves. So we've painted the first leaf. sort of like this is called light buttermilk. And while that's wet, I'm also going to take a little bit of this burlap color and just add a teensy bit to the edges of the leaf to kind of give it a little bit of shadow. So this burlap's kind of like a soft tan color. Sorry, the trash under there is pretty full. Let's see. Just grabbing pictures for the blog. You see that soft shading that it's adding to this leaf? Might even do some kind of going up the middle of the leaf like this. And this works best if the paint underneath this like this cream color is still wet. So definitely work while that color is still wet. I'm adding a little bit more of this back in because I'm noticing there's a few spots that are not covered as good. So I thought, well, this might save me from having to do another coat. It's always best to add like the shading details on the second coat if you have to do multiple coats. Because, you know, if you're doing a second coat, you're just painting right over it. So you may as well wait and do it on the second coat. And I'm just putting a teeny bit of this burlap on the corner of my brush, barely getting any on there. Good morning, Heather. Okay, let me show you this leaf up close so you can kind of see a little bit more of the shading details. Donna says, I can't wait for fall weather. Yes, we do sell the template to this one, Cherry. You can get it up in the video description. Yeah, I'm ready for fall weather too. I went outside this morning to cut these on the laser, and it's only 81. It was at the time, it was only 81 degrees here in Kentucky, but we have 79% humidity, and my hair was twice the volume. And then it just kind of went whoop, and it got real heavy. I mean, it still looks good, but I was like sweating when I came back in. Okay, Debbie signed up for the Pumpkin Trio workshop. Wonderful. Thank you. Somebody on TikTok said this is going to be super cute. I just know it. Okay, next we need an orange. So I'm going to go with this one. It's one of my favorites, Canyon Orange. And I'm putting my paints in this little egg carton. I like it because it keeps all my paints kind of corralled together and not like mixing with one another, and they don't spread out real bad.
Where are you in Kentucky?
I am over in sort of like the Benton, Murray area in western Kentucky, right on that sort of the southern border of the state. So I dropped a little nugget to this yesterday on my live, but I just announced yesterday that we are going to be doing an event here in Western Kentucky for our Painters Clubhouse members in November. So if you live close enough to the Western Kentucky area and you end up joining Painters Clubhouse, I would love to have you come and join us for our Christmas crafting event that we're going to be doing. And I can't give out too many details about it just yet, but I did want to put that little bug in your ear so you don't forget about it. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to be a smaller event, only about 50 people or so. What size are you painting? This one is actually about 18 inches. Melinda's experiencing that humidity down in Louisiana. I can imagine. Have I heard of Butcher Holler, Kentucky? I have not. Loretta Lynn's from there.
Is it in the state from us?
Well, isn't there a place, is it Lowe's, Kentucky, that Loretta Lynn has a place there too?
Don't know.
Because when I was a kid, my brother used to race motorcycles, and we would go to motorcycle races, and there was a place called, I think it was called Lowe's in Kentucky, and we would go there, and it was called, the place where the racetrack was called Loretta Lynn's, like she owned the property or something. So I don't know. I just remember doing that when I was a kid. Okay, look at my photo here. Make sure I got all parts of the leaf. Nope, it also pops out here. It's hard to tell when you're just looking at the blank sometimes what part is supposed to be what color. So always reference your photo if you're not sure. Kind of helps you remember where the leaf is, because this leaf is kind of on top of the other two leaves, and it's popping out from behind that pumpkin.
Why are you not painting it white first?
Oh, just because I'm not using a lot of bright colors. These are like darker, not darker, but like more like muted tones, like fall colors. If this was something that had bright beachy, like bright pinks or oranges or yellows, I would paint it white first, but I don't always like prime my stuff white. Yes, you can paint right over the word, Patricia, and we'll be able to, I can see it through the etched line. So I'll show you all that here in just a little bit, but you can still see the words through the color or through the paint. I'm going to go ahead and dry this so that I can do a little bit of shading on it because I may have to do a second coat. Sandy says it's possible. I believe her sons were into racing. Okay, good to know. Yeah, on any of our etched blanks that you buy like this, you can paint right over the words and you'll be able to see them through the paint so that you can, you know, do them with a paint pen later. It's way easier than trying to paint around every like letter and stuff while you're painting. Oh, I just saw somebody over on TikTok said I'm rejoining the Painters Clubhouse. I love hearing that. I'll be glad to welcome you back. So after you sign up for our Pumpkin Trio workshop, you will have the opportunity to go ahead and join our Painters Clubhouse membership if you choose to do so. You can do it before the workshop, during, or after the workshop. It's up to you. But it's a monthly membership where we teach door hanger painting. We give you 2 templates every month to use, and we teach 2 lessons, like video tutorials. We also sprinkle in like fun things like techniques and stuff like that. Like, for instance, one of the things we're having in the Painters Clubhouse this month is a guest teaching how to paint your pet. So if you've ever thought, I wish I could paint like a door hanger of my dog, this tutorial will be perfect for you guys.
What would you use to seal ceramics that are not glazed?
So for ceramics, I just use the same thing that I seal like my door hangers with, only sometimes I'll use the brush-on version of it. Like I've got Duraclear gloss varnish from Decor. I'll use that sometimes. If I want like something with a sparkle, then I might use like the Starlight varnish or something like that. But nothing special really, just something that'll give it a shine. Thank you for that, Sherry. I appreciate you. Okay, while this orange is still wet, I'm going to take a darker color, kind of like this. This is called Scarlet. It's a kind of a, whoops, I need to keep that color out. I forgot. I've got to keep my colors out so I can make a list of them later. It's like a reddish orange, and so I'm going to use this as my shading color. Now, see, I'm only getting it on the corner of my brush, and I'm putting that corner toward the outside of the leaf. And kind of, it helps if you kind of just go in the same direction and drag while the paint is wet. So notice I'm kind of only just dragging it across there 2 or 3 times until I feel like the paint has kind of mixed together. And I'm going in the same direction each time. Okay, we'll do some over here. And then we'll do a little bit sort of up the middle. Only I'm not going to shade this in as much. I'll just make like lines with this to kind of make like the lines of a leaf. And do a little bit kind of next to the pumpkin.
Vicki has been in your workshops for the last 2 years.
Vicki's an alumni. Thank you, Vicki. I know a lot of our ladies have found a lot of success through painting with us in these workshops. It's helped them gain a lot of confidence. It's also just like a really good, like, intentional way of making sure you're finding time to craft. So if you're like one of those people who's like, I wish I had time for this, or, you know, I really need a crafting day. I just can't seem to fit it in my schedule. Sign up for one of these workshops and put it on the calendar. Make yourself commit and do it. You will be so thankful that you did. Look at that shading. You'll be so thankful that you did later, because you'll just be like, oh, you know, I needed that. Like, it made me feel so good about myself to like sit down and craft for a little while and to put my worries away.
All right, Deborah wants to know, so she signed up for the next week's workshop, and where does she get her template?
Okay, so if you sign up for the Pumpkin Trio workshop, everything you need will be in the Pumpkin Trio workshop Facebook group. There's like a tab in there that says files. That's where you'll find your supply list. You can print it out. Looks like this. It's got a link to the Facebook group in case you lose it and can't find it again. It's got all your supplies listed out here. And it's even got like written directions on the back for what to do. It will also have a link to the template, and this is what the template looks like. And I know some of you guys have wondered, how do you print something this big on your printer? Notice it's like 6 sheets of paper that have been taped together. Mine is taped together with shipping tape. That's why it's so shiny. And so you'll lay this on your 18-inch wooden round, and you'll trace it with something called graphite or carbon paper. They're kind of the same thing. If you don't have a wooden round like that to trace it on, you can pick one up locally somewhere. Just get the 18-inch size, or you can get one from us at shopdoorhangers.com. I have put the link in the video description of this video for you. It's also linked on the supply list. You can get one from us and we can ship it out to you. It is getting pretty close to the start of the workshop deadline, so we will do our best to get those out as quickly as possible so that you guys have them in time to paint with us live. But the longer you wait, the less likely it will come on the first day of the workshop.
Tell Christy Rayner Aaliyah says hey.
Hey, Christy. Aaliyah says hey. Christy and Aaliyah have like a funny little thing going between the two of them. They met at Southern Adornments Live in Dallas. But anyway, those 18-inch wooden rounds are on sale right now. They're marked down to $12. They're normally $18.
Teresa's a new PC member, joined last weekend.
Well, hello, Teresa. Welcome. I'm so glad you decided to join our awesome group of ladies. I say ladies. There's probably a couple of guys in the Painters Clubhouse, but it's definitely heavy on mostly women.
Linda wants to know, if you just buy the template, can you paint it on a round? We don't have the template for sale.
So the template is not for sale individually. You have to join the workshop in order to get this template. You can get this template right now if you want it. I've got the link in the video description. But the workshop, you have to join the workshop in order to get that design, because it's going to be exclusive to the workshop and Painters Clubhouse for the next year.
Miss Pam is sending me hugs.
Hey, Miss Pam. Hi, Kellyanne. Joining you for the first time. I'm so glad you're here. If this looks like something that would be fun to do. Oh, and TikTok, somebody said, how do we sign up? I think there's a link in your TikTok profile, or my TikTok profile. I'm sorry. If you've never painted before, you should consider joining us for the upcoming workshop we've been talking about. It's going to be loads of fun. It's a great chance for you to kind of test your painting skills and see how well you do. Oh, I shouldn't have put that color back. Somebody needs to slap my wrist when I put the colors back in the little spinny thing over here, because I have to keep my colors out so that at the end of this video, I can take a picture of all the colors and make a supply list. By the way, I have my text number up in the video description. If you want to be notified when I go live to paint, definitely subscribe to our texting. And then also, if you will text the word list to that number, we will send you a link where you can go and download the supply list for this project.
Kellyanne signed up.
Yay!
What is that yellow?
This yellow is called Marigold, and the color I'm accenting it with is Honey Brown. So let me show you our leaves. I think I need to make the little, are they called veins? The veins on the leaf of the lighter one, a little bolder. So let me do that real quick.
But what about this?
Oh, it's a good thing I've got somebody watching me. I totally missed this whole part of the leaf.
There.
Oh, yep. See, my screen falls asleep over there. Oh, and I don't see the picture anymore. Okay, let me get a little bit more of this burlap color, and I want to add just a little bit of a bolder sort of vein. No, thank you. I missed it. I wouldn't have noticed it till I got done with the pumpkin. I missed 2 parts of the leaf. Aaliyah caught me on it, though. Let's see. This one up here is supposed to be the lighter color. We'll switch to a smaller brush. That's what I get for talking and not paying attention to what I was doing. So let's see. This is, okay, that's part of the pumpkin. So this goes like that. easy to get distracted and miss these little details. And then later, it's like, what is that supposed to be? And you have to go back and paint it.
Dawn wants to know, don't you need to paint more of the yellow leaf?
Paint more of the yellow leaf. Yeah, that's the part she was pointing out that I missed a while ago. So I'm going to go back and do that next. I missed that whole section. I got excited talking about the workshop, I guess. Completely missed it.
Do your happy mail.
Let's do a happy mail. You guys, if you will comment and tell me, when do you start decorating for fall? Tell me, when do you start decorating for fall? And we will pick a random winner in the comments to send some happy mail to. I usually start about mid-August to end of August. But this year, I'm just so busy, I don't even see it happening that soon.
Cloma just signed up for the pumpkin tree.
Yay! I'm glad you're going to be joining us, Cloma. Roxy loves these colors. Me too. Fall colors make me happy. I love when I can switch to my fall wardrobe too, like 3/4 length sleeve shirts. And then when it gets really cool, putting on hoodies, wearing jeans again, and not sweating my butt off. It's funny. I love summer and spring too. I think I just love the changing of the seasons, because when it's time for spring and summer and I can finally get away with wearing shorts and capris again, I'm excited. But then when fall rolls around, I'm like, done. I'm over it. I'm ready to switch. The only thing I don't get tired of is my flip-flops. I wish I could wear my flip-flops all year and not get frostbite. Put a little bit of shading on this leaf. Okay. Now we got all parts of the leaf. Barbara doesn't start until October. September's too hot in Florida. Oh, I understand. If you're in Florida, that makes sense.
She's the one that won.
Okay, our happy mail winner is Barbara Malden. Barbara, send us an email and we will, with your address, and we will send you some happy mail. Okay, let's pick a color for our pumpkin. We need a turquoise. Let's see, the one on here is a pretty bold turquoise. It reminds me of the color of my front door, actually. This bluegrass green. This is actually the color of my front door on my house. I took this bottle of paint to Sherwin-Williams and said, color match this. This is what I want. And they did. Okay. I think I'm just going to go the quick route here. Squirt it directly on there. And then we're just going to spread this out. And we'll add more as needed. So this is the blue grass green color. Isn't this beautiful? It's actually a little bit more green than turquoise, but I love it. I didn't get all of the yellow out of my paintbrush either, so it's streaking in a little bit of yellow tones. Whoops. Still looks good though. I don't care. And yes, we're painting right over that word. Don't you worry. We'll still be able to see it through the paint when the paint dries. Don't panic. Now, if for some reason, if you're using a template and you're printing out your template and you're tracing your words and stuff like that on with the graphite paper, if you're worried about not being able to see your wording through the paint, because you can't see the graphite through the paint as well sometimes, you can trace over it with like a Sharpie, and the Sharpie will show through the paint. Or you could just wait and trace your lettering on after you've painted your pumpkins. You could just trace that part on, last. I'm going to do it in stages. This paint is pretty thick. I haven't used it in a while. I was having a hard time getting it to spread a little. It looks really good with these other fall colors, I think.
Got several new watchers today.
Got lots of new people watching today? Well, where are you from? Comment and tell me where you're from. And are you a crafter or a painter? Is this something that appeals to you? Would you like to learn how to do this? because I teach door hanger painting every month inside my Painters Clubhouse membership. And I was just telling you guys about this design hanging up behind me. This is the one we're teaching next week on Monday in the Pumpkin Trio workshop. You can sign up for just $10 and learn how to paint this design on an 18-inch wooden round and paint alongside us in a private Facebook group. It's a great opportunity to find out, you know, if you like painting, if you're, you know, going to be good at painting, which you're probably going to find that you struggle with a few things when you first get started, and that's okay. That's perfectly normal. But if you follow our tutorials and stuff, we should be able to help you navigate through some of that a little easier than if you were trying to do it like on your own. We can help you troubleshoot. Okay, let's try this. Candace is going to do it. Yay. Lori says, I love crafts. What kind of crafts do you like, Lori? What's your favorite? I used to do scrapbooking until I had 3 kids and then decided I didn't have time for scrapbooking anymore. It was too time consuming. And then I did jewelry making for a little while. I've done a lot of things. Whoops, I'm slinging water. I've done a lot of things. But then I started trying door hangers. And I fell in love with this. And then I kind of put down all the other crafts and I went all in on painting door hangers. And now I teach painting door hangers. So that's been my craft evolution. You struggle with shading and final touches. Well, that's definitely something that comes with time. The more you paint, the more you'll get used to it and you will get the hang of it. Oh, you like painting and crochet. Wonderful. I have never been good at crochet. I gave it a shot. I did make myself a scarf one time, but then I never wore the scarf. I'm not a scarf wearing kind of person. Are you going to post the colors used? Yes, Alma. If you'll text list to my text number, we have the link for you to go and find the supply list. It's not going to be up for a few days because we got to get it made. I don't ever pick my colors till I sit down and paint, so we can't make them in advance. Charlotte's ready to paint the pumpkins. Wonderful. Yay, Susan is too. Okay, this needs another coat in a couple places. So instead of painting the whole thing again, I'm just going to do some spot touch up here. And sometimes I'll add a little bit of water to my brush when I'm going to do the second coat. It just helps it slide on a little easier and it goes a little faster. Because sometimes that second coat doesn't have to be nearly as thick as the first coat that you do. You can just kind of touch up some of the spots where it looks a little thin. Oops, I'm running out of this color. You like these colors? Me too, Alma. Pull up my photo. This one has, I think it has, yes, it has polka dots, but it also has a little bit of shading. So I'm going to get, let's see, we've got our bluegrass green. Let me try this color. This is Mermaid Tail. Notice it's a shade darker. So for the shading, I'm kind of picking a color that's just a little darker than the color I'm using. And I'm just getting a little bit of it on the corner of my brush. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow the lines in the, where the laser etching is. So there's lines that kind of show where the pumpkin, where the lines in the pumpkin are. So I'm just going to take and follow with the corner of my brush down that laser etched line. And I'm pulling the brush about 2, 3, maybe 4 times, depending on how well it's spread out. Notice I kept going the same direction each time. And this only really works very well if the paint underneath is already kind of wet. And it is, so it's spreading pretty good. If it feels like it's dragging and it's not spreading very well, dip your brush in a little bit of water, dab it on a paper towel, and then just go, don't get any more paint, go over the same area a couple more times. Okay, let's do this little area right up here. So this is what my first pass looks like. See, it's kind of spotty, kind of messy. But we can take our brush and just keep pulling that paint down and around to kind of thin and spread it out so that it blends a little better. And get a little bit more, and we'll do this little tiny spot right up here. Okay, now we gotta flip our brush over and go around the other side of this bump in the pumpkin. Now my brush is dragging a little, so I'm gonna get a little water on it, dab it on my paper towel, and then spread it again. See how that's adding just a little bit of a shaded look? I'm gonna make it just a little bolder. Pick up just a little bit more. So depending on how well you've kind of chosen the colors that you're doing for your shading, you may have to add more or less to kind of get the look you're going for. Okay, do some around here.
Susan Lang's in the process of buying a Thunder.
Yay! I have the Thunder Laser Nova 24 and I love it. That's what I use to cut these door hangers out that I'm using today. Shading does not have to be super intimidating, but if you're brand new to painting, this may be something you want to skip for a little while till you get the hang of the basics, and then you may want to start adding in some shading to the things that you're painting. Okay, looky there. Okay, now our pumpkin needs some polka dots. My glasses are cute. Thank you. These are pear eyewear. So look what happens. You can take the design off the front and change it out. I have like 50 of these. I've been hooked on the leopard print ones lately though. That's the ones I've been wearing the most. Okay, now I need my little sponge pouncer. Let's see, I thought I had one up here. I may have to grab one out of the closet. I had some, but they're the little ones. I need the bigger one. So we have these in our shop in, I think they're like 4 different sizes that you get. And this is not the biggest, but the second to biggest. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take, I'm not gonna pick another color because goodness knows we got enough colors already going in this design. But I'm gonna take a little bit of bluegrass green and add just a little bit of this buttermilk to it. Just a few drops. We'll mix it with the bottom end of a paintbrush.
Why buttermilk instead of white?
I don't know, I guess because we've already got those tones, so I'm trying to stay within the tones of the design. So that's why I chose buttermilk instead of white. White probably would have been fine too, but I just felt like going with that. Okay, we need a little more. It's not gonna be enough. I dabbed it over here to see if I had enough contrast. And there's not enough for you to notice the polka dots. So I added some more of the buttermilk. Wipe this off. Where do you order those glasses from? Cloma, I can put the link for you in there after the video's over if you like. They're from Pear Eyewear. But I'm going to dip my little sponge pouncer and then scrape the excess off on the edge of the egg carton. That'll really help because you don't want it like dripping on the bottom of the sponge. So you want your sponge to kind of look like this. And then we're just going to do little polka dots all over our design. So you're going to push it down, kind of give it a half a twist, and then lift up. If it doesn't look perfect, push it down again and lift up. You might have a few little bubbles, but that's okay. That's normal. There's a hair on my door hanger. Let's see if I can get that hair off. I think it's one of my hairs. It looks blonde. It's stuck. It's stuck in the paint. Come on now. I need some tweezers, don't I? I got it. It still left a funny texture, but we'll just put a polka dot on top of it. Problem solved. And you can usually do 3 or 4 polka dots before you have to dip in the paint again. So far I've done 5, so you know, you can stretch that. Dip, get some more, scrape off the excess.
Are the polka dots on the workshop door hanger made with a sponge pouncer? There's
Yes.
not any on the supply list.
Oh, there's not. Well, we may have to make them without the sponge pouncer then so that people can do that, because that would have been my mistake forgetting to put that on the supply list. But yeah, if you have them, you can use the sponge pouncers, but I may teach it without them since I forgot it on the supply list. You don't have to have them. It just does make your life a little easier. because it's just fast and it's satisfying.
Can you add black to darken the pumpkin color to do the shading?
You can, but be very careful doing that. Add just as little bit of black as possible. Something else I'm going to do is, because I want kind of like a half a polka dot up here, I'm going to put this sticky note down so that I don't get it all over that leaf. Now I have a half a dot. Okay, let me show you. And right now you may be like, you covered up all that shading that you did. It's okay. We're going to go back with paint pens in just a few minutes and kind of add the lines of our pumpkin back in, and it will bring that shape more to the front and push the pumpkins back a little bit.
So how often do you buy new pouncers, and how do you clean them each time?
Brandy, so when I'm using them in the moment, I'll just drop them right in my paint water and let them sit there and just kind of like, so that paint doesn't dry on the sponge. And then when I go to wash my brushes, I'll just squeeze it underneath the faucet until no more paint is coming out. I've had the same set of pouncers for years. So, depends on how often you use them. I used to take them with me to paint parties, and I mean, we would use them 2 and 3 times a week with like 20 ladies each time. And I still use the same set for a long time. So until they start to kind of like start detaching from the little wooden handle, you should be fine. Okay, Candace is asking about something on the supply list for the Pumpkin Trio workshop. She said, what is the yellow car wash sponge for? I got it at the Dollar Tree. It's one of those big, like, you know, awkward shaped yellow car wash sponges. I bought that. I cut it up into 3 chunks, and I'm going to show you how to use it to base coat the entire wooden circle during the workshop. It's not a must-have supply list item. You can get away with just painting your design with a brush. It's no big deal. But it is a fun hack for you to learn for base coating, because if you're base coating something and trying to paint it all one color, sometimes it can look kind of streaky, and this car wash sponge hack is a game changer. Once I figured that out, I was like, oh, we're doing it like this every time. So it's something I kind of wanted to teach everybody. Okay. I'm going to dry. Actually, I don't have to dry that because I forgot we got to paint our little stem. So while that's drying, we'll paint the stem. Let's see. What color did they use? They used a darker brown. So we'll go with this espresso. No, let's go a little lighter. Let's go with sable brown. Oh, we got a paint booger clogging up my paint.
Lisa Bowman is from Colorado, and she's new.
Welcome, Lisa. Glad you're here. Y'all ever get a paint booger stuck in your paint thing and it's like gummy and sticky and it won't let the paint come out? You kind of got to grab, there we go. It's real satisfying. You grab it with a paper towel and just pull it out. It's making a big mess of my paper towel, but it just keeps coming. Okay, we got it. It's so messy. Okay, I think I'm gonna need a little more paint than that.
Candace wants to know where you get your paints from.
Deco Art. They are Americana paints. You can shop right on the Deco Art website, or you can pick them up at Hobby Lobby or Michael's, somewhere like that. All right, y'all, I'm making such a huge mess. Let me turn this paper towel wrong side out because I dropped a paint booger right in the middle of that polka dot. Okay, another thing you might need to know is that you need baby wipes in your craft stash because inevitably that kind of stuff's gonna happen. And so I'm not gonna wipe my polka dots with the baby wipe, but I am gonna wipe in between the polka dots where it fell and got on the teal, and it'll just clean it up. It's fine. That polka dot, I'll probably just repounce it or something, or touch it up. Actually, instead of repouncing it, because I put my pouncer in the water already, I'll just touch it up with a brush. Problem solved. There we go. Thank you. I can't see her name. Simony? Is that how you say your name? Glad you're here. It's been a while since you watched me. Facebook may not be popping me up in your newsfeed as much as it used to, so that happens sometimes. Oh, we got show and tell. What did you make?
I made something for me and Hallie.
Yeah?
So
And
she got one too.
y'all been making these fun little plastic flowers.
I made her this one, and she was building her own garden.
Fun. Those are pretty. Good job, girls. It's their last day of summer vacation, so they're playing together. They go back to school tomorrow. This is that sable brown color I was talking about. We're just going to paint this on the stem, and I'm using a 1/2 inch wide flat tip brush. I'm kind of going around the edges first and then filling in the middle. So when I'm painting around the edge of a shape like that, I will go with less paint on my brush. And then when I'm going in the middle of the shape, like now, I kind of almost scoop up the paint to get more on it to spread it out in the middle.
Candace wants to know how much this design is.
So if you're buying the template to paint your own, the template's $7. It comes with the printable version that you can print out at home and cut your own piece, or you could like trace it on a wooden round like the one behind me. It also comes with the laser cutting file, so if you have a Glowforge or a laser machine, you could cut your own. Or you can get the wood blank from us. So one about this size, 20 inches, would be $24 with the design laser etched on it. You could also get a 12-inch size for about $14, and then there's also an 8 and a 6-inch size. 8 or 6-inch would probably be more like for if you're just going to set it on a shelf or put it in a tiered tray or something like that with it. Shirley says, I love these colors and it's so therapeutic to watch. Welcome, Shirley. Glad you're here. Okay, we're drying our pumpkin really good because we're getting ready to use some paint markers to add the lines onto our pumpkin, and we definitely need to make sure that the paint is really good and dry before we do that.
Happy Mail.
Let's do one more Happy Mail. Drop a comment and tell me when school starts back in your area. School starts back here tomorrow, and we will pick a winner. Candace, this one's about 18 inches. I cut it out myself, so it's not the same size as like the ones we sell in the shop, but it's pretty close. Thank you, Lisa. Those girls are 7 and 6. 7 and 6. Charlie's getting ready to start 2nd grade, and Hallie, I think, is 1st grade. They're quite good buddies. Somebody on TikTok said August 22nd, August 24th, Friday, Wednesday. Ours has always started like around the first, like, it's usually around like the 5th, 6th, 7th, or 8th. Like it's usually in that zone. Whoops. Okay. I've got my paint pen out. Now these are medium tip acrylic paint markers from Artistro.
Do you still cut any with your jigsaw?
Occasionally. I actually did have to break my jigsaw out today and use it because when I laser cut this, there was just part of it that I don't know if it was a bad spot in the wood or what, but it didn't cut all the way through, and I had to take my jigsaw and kind of help it finish because I had already pulled it off the laser machine. And once you kind of move it on the laser, it's hard to realign it with the original like place that it knew your wood was. So I just took it out and took my jigsaw and finished it up. So yeah, there are certain jobs that still require the jigsaw, but if I can cut it on the laser, I'm gonna. All right, our Happy Mail winner is Mindy Wood Davis. Congratulations, Mindy. Let's start on our leaves because I know those are more dry than the pumpkin, and I'll give our pumpkin just a minute or two longer to kind of cure. So I'm going to take this medium tip paint marker, and I'm kind of just going along the edge of the leaf. I'm not really staying on a particular line. Hold on, I got to pump this paint pen. It feels a little dry. Get the paint flowing. Let me go back over that line again. So I'm not really staying on a laser line. I don't like to like perfectly try to stay on a line when I'm doing this part. I like for it to look a little bit more free-handed and doodled. And if you try to perfectly stay on a line, it looks too perfect. Almost like just like clip art. You know what I'm saying? Or like a coloring sheet. Teachers are already back to school. Yes, I know a lot of them are. You want a picture of this part, Aaliyah? I just happen to think.
Probably. I was busy answering questions.
Thought you could catch me getting the yellow one here. I'll try to go a little slower. She's going to try to take a picture of me.
Not following the lines?
Not following the lines. We had somebody on our live last week say, do you do the lettering right on top of the laser line, right inside the laser line, or right outside the laser line? I'm like, you must be a perfectionist, because no, none of it. I try to just get in the vicinity. Okay, and then we're going to add a little bit to our stem. Again, I like for this to look just a little bit doodled and cute. I don't like for it to look too perfect. I don't know what that little line was, but that's okay. And now trace our pumpkin. And I can still see, let me just show y'all real quick. Remember how I told you can still see the words through the paint? You guys can kind of see that right there. Those are that's part of the word. And then you can kind of make out the G right there running through the orange leaf. So you kind of have to look closely and kind of like lean and look in the light just right. You don't want it to be super obvious, or the laser lines would be way too like bold after you've painted the design. You would be able to see them too well.
What are your paint pens called again?
These are Artistro acrylic paint markers. I have them linked in my Amazon favorites. So if you're watching on TikTok, that Amazon favorites is in my profile. If you're watching on Facebook, I've put it up in the video description for you. And if you're watching on TikTok and you've missed most of this, you can watch the entire replay for this on YouTube later. So go follow my YouTube page if you want. Okay, we've got our pumpkin lines. Let me show you. Remember how I told you the polka dots might be kind of distracting? Once we put the lines on there, it kind of like helps with the shape of the pumpkin a lot. So now we got to do our word. I can't decide if I want to do paint pen or if I want to do marker, or if I want to do paint on brush. We'll see. I may try the pen. Sometimes I'm having trouble with my words. Sometimes using a white paint pen can be frustrating for words because it takes a couple coats to get good coverage. So I may get frustrated partway through this and be like, never mind, we're just going to use paint. Let's see.
So is it okay to go through the dots on the pumpkin?
Yes, you can go right through the dots on the pumpkin with your lines. It'll be fine.
Do you say your door hanger is signed by you?
No, I don't. I probably should, but I don't. I actually keep them all, or I donate them to local causes that ask for donations. So, just depends. Let's see. Let me try this. I'm going to outline the letter and then see if I can fill it in and see how that looks. Okay, so there's the letter G. And instead of filling it in with this one, because this one's so small, and this is a pretty thick letter, I thought I had a big old chunky paint pen in white over here, but it's disappeared. I think somebody may have borrowed it. It was like this, but it was white. I guess I don't. So, I don't know. I feel like I don't have the patience for this. Especially on a live, because I'm like, this is no fun to watch. This is going to take forever.
You got a whole word to go.
Yeah, and you got a whole word to go. So, you can do that if you want, if you've got all the time in the world. And if you feel like it's going to be easier. I'm the type that I'm like, let's just get this done quick. So, I'm going to use not that one. That one's got scraggly ends on it. You want a paintbrush that's kind of got a nice end on it, like not lots of scraggly little bristles. Let me try this flat tip one, and we're just going to paint the white into the letter. And if you want to try this method, you could outline your word or your letters first with a paint pen and then paint it in like what I'm doing. I still don't like this brush for this. We're going to switch to a flat filbert tip brush. Something with more bristles so that I can cover more ground faster and I have less brush strokes. Because just like painting with a paint pen can be frustrating because you have to do a couple coats, it's the same with white paint when you're painting letters. You kind of have to do 2 coats to get decent coverage. So you want less brush strokes if possible. So this is a filbert tip brush, size number 8 from Decor. I chose it because it's almost the same width as most of the sections of this letter. So I knew it would be very little brush strokes. Hey Wanda, glad you're here. You said I almost missed you. Glad I caught you. You did. We're finishing up. We're adding the wording onto our design. So this is called the Fall Grateful design. You can get this one in our shop in template or blank. Depends on if you want to cut your own wood or not. This one came out, I think, around last year sometime, but for some reason lately it's picked up popularity in the shop again, and we've been selling some of them. So I thought, you know, I never did paint that one live. We'll do that one today. All right, we're going to let that air dry while I move on to other parts of the word. So for certain parts of this, the lettering is skinnier or thicker, so you kind of have to be careful if you're still using this filbert tip brush. I'm actually like rotating my brush just enough so that it can fit in those narrow spaces a little better. Or you can switch brushes and get like a round tip brush to fit in the more narrow areas. And I'm not having to freehand this. I can see it through the design was laser etched with the word on it already. So I'm just painting inside those lines. I can still see them even though you guys can't. Does anybody have any questions about our pumpkin trio workshop that's coming up? It starts on Monday. It's only $10 to sign up. It's this one that's hanging up behind me. I wish I had it hanging a little lower because you can't even see that top pumpkin. But we're going to be painting this one next Monday inside a private Facebook group. It's only $10 to sign up. We give you a template. You need an 18-inch wooden round to paint it on. And we're going to paint it over a 4-night period so that you guys can follow along and paint one yourself. We're going to give away lots of prizes. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be like a big party every night on Facebook Live. I've got some paint pens to give away, some paint packs, some gift cards, all kinds of fun goodies. So be sure you show up live. Even if you can't paint with us, if you can show up live and comment and watch, we'll be giving away prizes.
Miss Pam loves all the giggles in the background.
You can hear the girls in the background having the best last day of summer they could possibly have in there. I don't even know what they're doing. They were playing hide and seek earlier. For anybody who says, I have kids, I have 3 kids in my house and I can't start a business right now. Y'all, I started this business when I was 8 months pregnant with her. So I have run a business while breastfeeding. I have run a business while pregnant. I've run a business with a toddler and with rambunctious little girls running through the living room. If I can do it, you can do it. Where there's a will, there's a way. Which this actually, doing all this saves my sanity. So really it's for everyone's preservation that I get in here and paint.
Raven wants to know if she can't watch it live, will she be able to go back and watch it?
Yes, so you'll be able to watch all the videos on replay later, whenever you have time, up to a year later. So, if you can't watch live, that's okay. You can come back and catch up when you're ready.
But they do need to get in the group now.
Okay, Chastity, you win. She said, I'm trying to do it while homeschooling 5 kids. You win. I'm not homeschooling. Tomorrow the bus pulls up and I'm shoving them out the door. What'd you say, Leah? They need to
get in the group.
Yeah. You don't need to wait too long because you definitely want to hop on there and participate with us. We're giving away lots of prizes. So if you're able to hop on this week, it would be a lot more fun for you. I showed you up close because I wanted you to see how my white paint may look good from a distance, but do you see up close we've got lots of like inconsistencies in the paint color. So that's why we dry it and we do it again. So starting again back here at the beginning, do a second coat on the lettering. I think my son is in there too, aggravating the girls, so that's probably part of it. And you definitely want to make sure and dry that first coat before you start your second coat of white. And yours still may look a little bumpy or inconsistent when you're done, but that's not going to bother anybody else as much as it bothers you. Let it go. Gonna get it as good as I can and then call it done. White lettering is always very difficult. I feel like it's a challenge. I love the way it looks because it pops, but man, it's not for the weary.
Jerry says 6:30 a.m. tomorrow, can't come soon enough.
I know. 6:30 is when the kids are getting picked up. Yep.
What brush are you using?
I'm using a filbert tip brush. This is one of Deco Art's brushes. It's a size 8. And it's just about the right width for these letters. And so it kind of makes it to where I can kind of coat each letter in one stroke. I'm not having to do like a whole bunch of strokes to cover the width of the letter. And that's kind of what you want. The less strokes, the better.
Candace wants to know where you're stationed. Isn't your husband a Marine?
My husband is a Marine. He's no longer active duty. And we were stationed at Cherry Point, North Carolina. We're now back in Western Kentucky. How far are you guys from Western Kentucky? Those of you watching, like how many hours drive is it for you to get to, we'll say like Paducah, Kentucky, because that's usually what most people are like familiar with on this side of Western Kentucky. I'm about 40 minutes from Paducah. I'm curious how far all of you are from Western Kentucky because we're getting ready to do a Christmas crafting event in Western Kentucky in November. It'll be exclusive to our Painters Clubhouse members, and we're only going to have about 50 people. So if you end up joining Painters Clubhouse, you'll be able to grab a ticket to that if you sign up fast enough. I don't know how long the tickets will last. All right, I'm going to call it done after 2 coats because I'm impatient. It's still not perfect after 2 coats, but it's good enough. Denise says 7 hours. Chastity says 2.5 to 1.5 to 2. That's not bad at all. Jacqueline says 45 minutes. Ooh, well, you guys definitely need to come and join me in November. Oh goodness, somebody on TikTok said 1,195 miles. 1 hour. I'm from Kentucky. Perfect. 6 to 8 hours. That's not terrible. 3 to 4 hours for Northern Kentucky. Roxy says 9.5 hours. Let's do our last Happy Meal. How far are you from Paducah, Kentucky? If you have not commented yet, comment how far you are, and we're going to randomly pick somebody for our last Happy Meal.
12 hours to New York, Ohio. I thought we could be stranded for 12 hours.
Are you going to offer that class online as well? I don't know yet. Probably not. Probably not.
Lauren wants to know if November's for sure now.
Yes, November's for sure. We went and put down a deposit on the location. I'm excited about it. All right, one last thing we're going to do is add a slight drop shadow to this white lettering to help it pop. So for drop shadowing, I'm going to use a round tip brush. And I'm going to water down my black paint just a little. Makes it flow a little better. Anytime you're doing lettering with black paint, if you can water it down just a hair, it'll help. And you can do your drop shadow on either side. I think in the picture it's showing it on the left and left area, but I don't like doing it on that side. I like doing it on the right. So I'm going to switch it and do it on the right. So to do the drop shadow, take your brush and trace along the right if you're doing it on the same side as me. You just have to be consistent no matter which side you do it. I'm doing it on the right and lower side of each letter. So of each brush stroke, or each letter stroke, I'm going on the right and the underside. They are wild as little guineas in there. Sounds like a circus. Yeah. Okay, last Happy Mail winner, Diane Constant. Congratulations, Diane. They're yelling commands to Alexa now.
22 hours to Arizona. Oh, me.
Yeah, Arizona's quite a ways. I just heard Hallie say, play What Does the Fox Say?
No.
No, I hate that song.
No.
There it goes. No, Alexa, louder. She said that. We're about to have a nightclub sound like going on in the kitchen. Aaliyah's going to open the door and tell them. You'll hear how loud it is. I don't know why kids love that Fox song so much.
Charlie.
Just say, Alexa, stop. Ding, 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 ding. Oh my goodness. It's crazy. Oh, somebody on TikTok says, what was the city? It was Paducah, Kentucky. P-A-D. I guess I should have given them a city that was easier to spell. Because if you don't know what Paducah is, you don't have a clue. It's named after an Indian chief, Chief Paducah. P-A-D-U-C. I can't even spell it. C-A-H. It just took me a minute. The pressure was on and I couldn't think.
Well, what does the fox say?
Oh, I know. I can't even think. All I can think about is the fox, what the fox says right now. It's a wonder I'm even putting the drop shadow in the right spot at this point. Okay, let me show you guys this drop shadow up close so you can see just what an impact it has on the white lettering. See how it really just made that white lettering go poof and it like pops to the front. Drop shadow helps a lot. And it distracts from the imperfections in your white paint. So I'm showing you up close so you know mine does not look perfect. Everybody always thinks like yours looks so good. Mine doesn't look as good as yours. It's because you're seeing it from like a 6 foot, or well, actually this is probably a 4 foot distance to the camera. So it does look perfect from this distance. But if you look at it up close, there's definitely some imperfections. You can see some texture there. That's fine. You can see that's not even perfectly opaque. It's okay. Still looks great. And it's going to look awesome hanging on the front door. Christina says, what does the fox say? I don't know. It's like ding, 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 or something like that. I don't even know. Oh my goodness. Roxy says the drop shadow looks amazing. I'm glad you guys liked this one. If you want to grab the fall grateful design in our shop, I'll put the links above. If you want these paint pens, it's the medium tip Artistro pens in my Amazon shop. The fine tip ones are also fire. I love these. And then if you haven't signed up yet for the Pumpkin Trio workshop, I want to invite you to paint this with me next week live inside a private Facebook group. It's only $10 to sign up. We give you a supply list. I've got a picture. I've got it printed out here. A supply list you can print out. And we give you a template you can use to trace the design on your 18-inch wood circle. If you don't know where to get the wooden blank, just pick up an 18-inch circle from any of your local stores, cut your own. You could even probably use an 18-inch pizza pan to trace and cut out your own. Or you can get one from us. It's going to be cut out of 1/4-inch MDF wood, and we will ship it to you. They're only $12 in our shop right now. We've got them on sale. They're normally $18, so stock up if you like painting on wood rounds. Yes, Annette, I'll be painting live inside the Painters Clubhouse today at 2 o'clock. So if you have signed up for Painters Clubhouse with the workshop, I'm painting live inside the clubhouse this afternoon. What else was I going to say about this? I did have a question on one of my posts the other day about this, and somebody said, why would anybody pay $10 to paint something like that in a workshop when there's, I can't remember how she worded it, but it was something to the effect of, when there's so many free crafting tutorials out there on Facebook, like there's so many free ones, why would you pay $10 for one? And I'm like, great question, because you're watching all of these for free, but are you actually making something? Or are you just watching and wishing that you could do this? If you're one of those who's just been watching and wishing, put the $10 down, sign up for this, print out your template, and take action. Because it's not until I can get you to paint with me and actually make something that I can convince you that you can do it. And I believe anybody can learn how to paint this. Anybody. And so it's not as intimidating as it sounds. I know, like, that leopard print's probably terrifying, and you're like, oh, that design up front, like, that looks so detailed. How can I do that? And I can't do that shading. Yes, you can. I'm going to walk you through it. We're going to do it over a 4-night period. We're going to break it down in slow, easy steps. We're also going to give away a ton of prizes. It's going to be like a big party. It's going to be so much fun. And you're not doing it alone. You're going to be doing it with hundreds of other people just like you who are starting out, who are beginners, who've never painted before. Plus, we're going to have some of our Painters Clubhouse sisters in there, and they are the best cheerleaders, encouragers, advice givers you've ever met. And so you're going to have a lot of support. Now, if you were to just watch a free crafting tutorial like the one that we did today, right here, yes, you could paint this alongside the free video. Yes, you could. But you wouldn't be having as much fun as when you do it inside of a private Facebook group. There's tons of prizes we're giving out, and we're breaking this down in a 4-night period so that you guys can follow along, keep up, and have success with it. And then at the end of the workshop, we're going to invite you to join our Painters Clubhouse membership. So if you get bitten by the door hanger bug and you're hooked and you're like, Tamara, I just want to paint door hangers all day, every day for the rest of my life. Guess what? Me too. You can come and join the Painters Clubhouse. It's $47 a month. We're going to give you 2 new designs every month, and we're going to keep the inspiration flowing so that each month you know what you're going to paint next, and you will have the time. Even if you're a busy person like Miss Pam, I think it was Pam Fowler who was telling me, she's an EMS person. She works 48-hour shifts. And she's still in our Painters Clubhouse member. She said, I look forward to that 3rd day. Every 3 days after my 48-hour shift, I come home and I paint. And that's how I let go of all the stress of my difficult job. That's how I relax. And she said, I look forward to it every single time. So if Miss Pam can do it and she's working 48-hour shifts, you can find the time to sit down and paint. It's going to be life-changing. You're going to end up reducing your stress. You're going to find something you enjoy doing, and you may even find that you can sell these. We always encourage the people in our workshops to post a picture on Facebook saying, look what I made. Not even saying like, will anybody buy this? Because no, we don't want to post that. We want to post something like, look what I made. Isn't this so cute? And then you're going to have people comment and say, yeah, can I buy one of those from you? Are you selling these? Because inevitably they will be. And so what you say is, yeah, send me a private message. You don't want to sell it in the comments. You want to sell it in the DMs, in the private messenger. Because over there, you might be able to sell like 10 of them. Whereas if you sell it in the comments and somebody else comes to comment and say, can I buy this? They may see that above in the comments, you already sold it once. And they'll be like, oh, shucks, I missed out. But if you say, come and send me a private message, you may end up making 10 more of them and making all kinds of money. And next thing you know, you've got more money to buy back to school clothes, or buy more wood to paint more door hangers, or buy more paint, or just start saving up for Christmas money. All right. I hope this has been inspirational for you guys. I hope you have a wonderful afternoon, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.